Hey everyone, this is Geeky Panda here, bringing guys another one of my Panda Reactions. This time I'm going to be taking a look at 10 things no one tells you about anime conventions made by Convention Reviews. Now, I actually met up with Convention Reviews, and honestly, he's a fucking amazing guy, talented videographer as well. And we've always like constantly see each other at conventions, and honestly, great guy. He was on a hiatus traveling, and now he's slowly coming back to the convention scene, and he's again making some great stuff. And he made this video, so I'm like, okay, let me, take a look and give my reaction, and let's see what he put down. So
in my years of making videos, I've somehow made it to over 80 anime conventions. I don't know the
yeah,
exact
holy
number,
shit.
but that's when I stopped counting. In that time, I've gathered a lot of
At a certain point, you just stop counting how many of the conventions you've gone to overall. You legitimately stop counting. For me, after 20, I'm like, okay, I'm not even gonna count it anymore. I'm afraid to count it now.
knowledge that I'd like to share. I've made videos before and seen others make videos about what to expect at your first anime convention.
Ooh.
But with the help of some of my friends who are also in the anime con world, we've come up with a few things no one really mentions in these videos. Things you might not first expect when thinking of jumping into the world of anime con.
I'm actually excited to hear this. Let's do this.
No one tells you about anime conventions.
All right, what's the first one?
Until now. Number 1, you can cosplay anything you want from any type of media, or you can make up your own character and cosplay that, or not cosplay at all. This will seem obvious to people who've been going to cons for a while, but I still get asked in my comments daily if it's okay to cosplay at an anime con as someone that's not from anime.
Fucking bullseye with that. It's so fucking true. You can cosplay whatever you want. I've even met up with cosplayers that cosplay their own unique characters. Like not from like their own creation, essentially. They're cosplayers that cosplaying their D&D characters. And honestly, I love it. It's like that flexibility. You can cosplay whatever you want. And it's kind of it's like that Omni thing. It's like it doesn't matter if you're at an anime convention cosplaying something from a video game or TV show. You'll still have people that'll be like, oh my god, that's awesome, that's amazing.
And the answer is a resounding yes. No one's gonna look at you weird or
no,
ask why
you're cosplaying.
Not cosplaying from anime. To be honest, anime
is that
conventions
Cynthia?
aren't really solely
I'm gonna get the
focused on anime anyway. They often have guests or events related at the very least to video games, if not going further into TV shows, comics, movies, and other forms of media. So cosplay whatever you want. No
exactly.
Also, you don't need to cosplay at all if you don't want to. It isn't required.
So fucking true. Some people think that it's a requirement. Honestly, it's not. Just if you want to just go in your regular clothes, do that. If you want to go in a nice business suit and be a little classy here, giving off, like who doesn't love a nice suit? Go for it. Like you can, you do you.
I pretty much never cosplay and no one cares. Number 2, people stink. I'm just being real here. For whatever reason, there are so many people at anime cons who just stink. Just be ready for this.
Oh my god. The con funk is so real. I made guide videos, which I'm thinking about doing an updated guide video, and I tackled the con funk. I'm like, listen, you people motherfuckers, like you're at an anime convention. Take a shower daily, brush your teeth, wear clean clothes every fucking day. I've heard horror stories. Like we all know when we go to the a convention, and when it comes to like the game room, it's gonna start stinking midday to night. And oh my fucking Christ, it's just take care of your personal fucking hygiene.
Best to not add to the issue.
Yeah, let's not add.
Point fingers or ridicule people who have some sort of real issue where they truly just can't do anything about their odor. But
yeah, I'm like, if you try at least, I'm like, okay, cool. Or if you can't really, I'm like, okay, I can understand your point, But for those who have said confunk issue and they can easily just take a shower but don't do it, like it just boggles my mind. Like, wait, why haven't you taken a shower? You are staying in a hotel room. It has a shower. Or other people, like, they only brought one pair of clean clothes with them. That for the whole, like, a 3-day weekend. That shit ain't gonna last. No.
That isn't even close to the majority of people who stink at anime cons.
Yeah.
So many people either don't believe in showers.
Such an amazing cosplayer. Mwah!
or deodorant or both, just please try to shower before coming down to the con.
Exactly.
If you start to get a little funky from walking around a lot, hey, no shame in a midday shower. In fact, I'd highly encourage it. You may think you don't stink, but you're probably just nose blind to your own smell.
Honestly, so fucking true. I've been to some of the cosplays I wear. I do get a little sweaty because I walk around a lot in this, like, sometime like this, all this cosplay. I've, you know, like, okay, let me just air out my cosplay a little bit, do a Febreze spray on it, and then let me just take a shower. I think the most I've taken in one day was 3. One in the beginning, because usually when I wake up, I take a shower, then a midday shower, and then sometimes at night, depending on what's going on, I'll take another shower again. Like if I'm doing like nighttime festivities and stuff. So yeah.
Just always assume you stink and go take extra showers while at the con. Artist Alley is the actual unique and interesting area to shop. I mean, if it's your first con, then maybe dealer's room is more interesting. But after going to con after con, you start to notice that dealer's rooms at different cons are all pretty similar. Figures, wall scrolls, plushies, and 90% of it can be found on Amazon for cheaper. Artist Alley, however, can offer some really nice surprises. I find a lot of the goods in Artist Alley to be a bit more unique.
I love it that totally fucking true. Artist Alley does have a lot of unique stuff because it's literally artists there selling their things, like whether it be like little trinkets, whether it be, you know, paintings or drawings and stuff like that. There's something unique about Artist Alley.
Some of the coolest things I've come across at cons were from Artist Alley. That being said, if you go to a lot of cons in the same area, you'll probably run into the same artists again and again, but in my opinion, there's a higher likelihood of finding something unique, especially if you decide to travel far for a con. Speaking of,
I always try to, when I go to a convention, I always try to hit up the Artist Alley on top of the dealer's room because, again, I want to experience everything, and sometimes something there might catch my eye, and I'm like, oh shit, you know.
Which dealer's room stuff can often be bought cheaper on Amazon.
Just go to Japan.
A lot of figures are legit crane game prizes. I already mentioned this, but always
just
check
go to Japan, guys.
Buying something in the dealer's room. Almost every time I do, I end up buying the same thing for cheaper. Not 100% of the time, but close to it. On top of that, I've talked to multiple vendors who've openly told me the figures they sell are legit crane game prizes from Japan. Like they have a friend in Japan who goes and wins them and then ships them over here for them to sell at AnimeCon.
That's fucking crazy. Oh my god, the logistics of that. Holy shit. Okay, all right.
Maybe this doesn't bother you, but for me it feels kind of bad because in Japan you can legit win most of these for less than like $10, but in the US they'll charge you at least $30 at an anime con to buy the same thing. And the reason this sucks is because crane game figures are generally lower quality as they're expected to be won in a crane game. And after a while you can even start to be able to tell immediately which figures are from crane games and which aren't. So just keep your eyes
price
open.
tag
I'm
usually.
not saying don't buy them.
But yeah, no, the quality of it too.
To Japan just to get figures out of crane games, but just be aware of
this. I'm not gonna lie, when I go to Japan eventually, because my mom's actually talking about taking a trip to the Philippines, she's like, yeah, let's stop by Japan first. I'm like, oh yeah,
this. And if you are planning a trip to Japan, maybe just wait and buy your figures there.
Also,
staff often have no idea what's going on due to bad communication.
small spelling mistake, but you know what? I made mistakes too. Please believe. But
between upper and lower staff. I do want to preface this by saying this will depend con to con and on how well organized it is. But in my experience, a lot of staff members are given a job like checking badges at a door. And outside of that job, they have almost no idea what's going on.
So true. Like certain, like when I was helping out, when I was part of the OhioCon security staff, all I did was security. Like I didn't assist in anything else. It was literally security, so I walked around a lot, all thatness. But yeah, they're like staff that are dedicated. Like this is your role. You stay here. You're in registration. There are some volunteers and stuff like that, or other staff members that are kind of like the in between, like which department where to go. But yeah, like not every staff member is gonna know the convention completely from like one end to the other and everything in between. So totally right on that.
The amount of times I've run all around a con just trying to find the right staff member to ask about something I would think is pretty easy to answer is wild. Now, I'll admit I may have to deal with this more than your typical con attendee, since sometimes I have questions related to being con press, but it's still worth knowing. I've legit had staff tell me they straight up have no idea what's happening.
And honestly, this is the Columbus Convention Center, by the way. Yeah, I think this is the Columbus Convention Center. Anyways, no, I honestly, I don't take offense to it, because again, some people legitimately, all they do is just are in this one area. That's it. That is their kingdom, basically. Anything outside is is unknown territory for them. So I don't feel, like I'm very, like, okay, I know you might not know everything, but if you do, that'd be, if you can help me out real quick, that'd be awesome. If not, no worries, no harm, no foul.
That higher staff members tell them nothing at all. Just try not to get too frustrated if you have a question and the staff member you choose to ask can't answer it. A lot of times they just aren't told anything. Try walking around and asking someone else, and maybe you'll get lucky. Number 6. Huge creeps. A lot of photographers and videographers are creeps. Anime conventions are often described as a safe place where you can be yourself and meet like-minded people. And that's all totally true. But don't let that fool you into thinking there aren't creeps all over anime conventions.
Not wrong at all. Not wrong.
The amount of dudes I've seen over the years at cons say some of the creepiest stuff I've ever heard to someone in my own group or just someone near me is mind-blowing. You can look back on my old convention storytime videos if you want to hear more about that. And that's just a small selection that I chose to feature. But let's be real, everyone knows there are creeps at cons. So I want to bring to your attention another type of creep: photographers and videographers. I want to be very clear that it's not all photographers and videographers. I've met so many other people at cons that do press that seem to be very safe and very chill. And I'd like to include myself on that list, of course. But there's a reason you don't often see me hanging out with other videographers or photographers when I'm at cons. I know for a fact a lot of these people use the power of especially photography as a way to get closer to cosplay girls and try to creep on them.
It honestly happens more so than you think. Not fucking wrong at all. And it's interesting because there's some legitimately awesome videographers and cosplay photographers out there, but some people, some cosplayers might have a thing of like, oh, you're just another creep, and not realize it's like, oh no, it's hard to try to make yourself legitimate because there are a few bad apples that make the whole group look bad. So, but yeah.
You don't have to believe me, but I promise it's true. I'm not telling you this to scare you, but I just want to make sure you're cautious and are always looking out for red flags when dealing with people.
Yeah, it's honestly, yeah, no, absolutely right. Like, again, it's like there's only like a few bad apples, but people's perceptions, it makes like the whole photographer, videographer look bad, but it's only a few bad apples. For me, again, it's like I always try to remain respectful. I always ask, like, if I want to feature them in like a cosplay music video or whatever, or do like a small interview for my cosplay vlog. I always ask them politely, give them my business card. Hey, here's my business card. This is my channel, my content. You can check it out. But if you don't want to do it, you know what? No harm, no foul. I won't view this negatively. That's why I ask first. So, but yeah, no, you definitely hit it on the money.
Don't just trust that because someone else loves your favorite anime, they aren't a super creep with bad intentions. Number 7, size matters. I mean the size of cons.
Ratchet and Clank? Wait,
anime cons are not all made the same.
Wait.
I mean the size.
Wait. Ratchet and Clank PS game for 2000
matters. I mean the size of cons, guys.
Okay, size of
anime
cons. Okay.
Cons are not all made the same. One of the biggest factors that decides what a con will be like is its literal attendance size. More people means more money for the con, which means more events and guests they can have. That sounds great. So why would you ever go to a small con? Well, big cons bring out more creeps, longer lines, are more expensive, and generally a lot less personal and more stressful. Small cons can be a lot cheaper and are generally better for making new friends and meeting people.
Also very true. Like, big cons, more expensive, very popular, which means lines. And note the plural form, lines. But small convention, this is like we talked, like me and my friends talked about this, like like the bigger the convention, the more like professional. Yeah, it's professional, but it's like you don't feel as close, like close knit, with the community as like small conventions. And there are differences between small and big. Obviously, big has a bigger budget, so they can get in more guests, do more things. But don't ignore small conventions. Like, honestly, if you are new to conventions, a small convention is literally a great way to walk through the door or test the waters out a bit. You're not overwhelmed. I know some people out there, they're very not so like their social battery, it doesn't take a lot for it to go out the window in a sense. So like a smaller convention, the more control, you won't feel as overwhelmed in a sense. But yeah, but each, some people love small conventions, some people love big conventions. Me, I love both, but I tend to go more towards the big ones, but I do still love to go to the smaller ones.
I can always feel a lot of community when I stop by small cons.
Exactly.
But they don't have all the good things that a big con has, like more guests and events. Let me introduce you to the magical world of mid-sized cons. Not so big that they overwhelm you, but not so small that there's nothing going on. I would say a mid-sized con is probably anywhere between around 5,000 to 20,000 attendees.
No, I think I think that's a good measure.
Some people are going to say that's still pretty small, but in my experience, anything over 20,000 starts to all feel pretty much the same, just with more people in the way. Cons can be expensive.
I spent my life savings on a body pillow. Oh, fucking hell. Yep, do not ask how much money I spend at conventions. The answer, I don't even know, but I don't want to know. Let's just say that.
Obvious, but there are some hidden costs that may not be immediately obvious to first-time con-goers.
Okay.
Of course, you need to pay for your badge
Naturally.
and hotel room.
Naturally.
Those are the obvious ones. But if you decide a little late that you're going to go to the con, the badge will cost a bit more compared to buying it earlier.
Exactly.
You also need to think about transportation.
Yeah, hell yes.
And around the city. If
yes.
You're not staying in the host
exactly.
Hotel.
It could start
Parking.
literally adding
Some
up.
hotels have free parking, but a lot of cons take place in downtown areas where you're going to need to pay for parking. Food, and whether or not you should bring your own food. Some cons have great options for eating and others just don't. I will say I do think it's probably cheaper to bring your own food though.
So fucking true. Like Anime Boston, we had the Prudential Center Mall had a fucking amazing food court. So like they had a bit of everything in there. Like, was it Panda Express? They got like all sorts of stuff. I think Sabaro's Pizza too. I'm trying to remember now, but ever since they kind of made the mall more bougie and all that shit, trying to find food options, we ended up literally ordering out food more often, which it does add up. Like the amount of money we spent on food, like the food budget back then, like literally 10 years ago, 40, like I would budget like $40, $30 to $40. I can guarantee myself 2 meals for the day, and I'll be good to fucking go. Now it's like, oh shit, I might be covered just one. Like again, it all depends on the options nearby too. But for conventions like PAX East and Anime Boston, we literally heavily rely on either some of the local restaurants that are like right there, or 9 times out of 10 we just order delivery, and it does add up. So
if you're willing to go through the hassle, convention food can get super expensive.
If
you plan on partying at all, or even just some light drinking throughout the weekend, that will also have an impact on your wallet.
Don't ask me how much we spend on alcohol for a convention. Just don't. Collectively with me and my friends, just don't.
And of course, anything you buy in the dealer's room or artist alley. If you've gone to a lot of cons, this part probably seems really obvious to you. But I think for someone just getting into cons, it could be easy to overlook some of this stuff when making your budget.
Always make a fucking budget. Like, if you want to buy something in a dealer's room, budget your spending money. And cash is king. Like, literally, if you have $100 to spend on for the dealer's room, just have it in cash, and if it's all out, hey, it's all out. I've heard stories of people legitimately spending more money than they thought, either on a credit card or I spent my budget for the dealer's room, but I also tapped into the food budget and all that stuff. So now it's like, oh shit, now food's gonna become an issue. Yeah, it's literally, you gotta budget this shit. Like, things like I want to make sure Like, make sure the badge is paid, the hotel is paid, the travel to and from the place is taken care of, and the food. That's literally the 4 basic groups that I want to make sure I get done and over with. Everything else is just extra options.
Number 9. Nightlife and 18 plus activities.
Oh yeah.
Anime cons are a little different than most Comic Cons.
Oh yeah.
They don't really have a closing time each day. They just continue into the night with more panels and
Yep.
sometimes even concerts and raves to attend at the convention itself. But something I don't hear a lot of people talk about online is how, as it turns to night, anime conventions, and especially bigger conventions, become more and more adult.
Oh,
During the daytime, they're
Jesus
totally
fucking Christ.
appropriate for anyone of any age. But as the sun
Like, literally so fucking true. Like, conventions have gotten more kid and family friendly by day, but at nighttime, 18 plus panels, concerts, events, raves. I love anime convention raves, especially back then. They were so epic. They were awesome. Some conventions still do their own raves and stuff like that on site, which I fucking love. But it's literally, we always joke around, but I legitimately think that us anime fans, we party harder than some fucking colleges out there. Like, we like the amount of partying, drinking, and shenanigans that we do, and dancing at the night away at raves. I think we party harder than like some colleges out there. To be legitimately like, anime fans know how to party hard at a convention. Maybe too hard where they have to take a hospital trip. That's why I always say, do not go over your limit when you're drinking.
sun drops, alcohol comes out,
Oh,
and
yeah.
outfits become more and more revealing.
Yep.
Along with that, typically every night there are 18 plus panels,
Yep.
some of which just show straight up hentai or talk about fetishes or whatever else you can imagine at an 18 plus panel. I haven't personally seen it myself, but I've also been told stories of walking in on people just doing cocaine in the bathroom before raves. So yeah,
Yeah. People do. Like, I always tell people, like, be careful when you're drinking, but people also do take drugs. Like, if it's like fucking like a blunt or weed and shit like that, oh, okay. But some people legitimately like, holy fucking shit, you know. But yeah, just be careful about that.
it's a different vibe. All of that being said, I do personally love nightlife at anime cons. Everyone feels more loose and
Yeah.
laid back. And
Yeah,
even though the
totally.
dealer's room is closed, there's still so much interesting stuff to do.
Exactly.
Number 10, there's more to do than just shopping and seeing voice actors. Before I went to my first con, I had no idea they have things like maid cafes, manga
Yep.
libraries,
Yep.
escape rooms, raves and
Escape
concerts,
rooms?
foam fighting and LARPing events, video game rooms, tabletop gaming rooms, karaoke, and honestly, so much more. There's just so much random nerd-related stuff happening at all times of the day. If you aren't interested in cosplay, shopping, or going to panels, that doesn't mean you have nothing to do at an anime con.
So fucking true. It's like, at a convention, there's always something for everyone to do. Like, some people like to go shopping, some people like the panel, some people like the events, some people just want to hang out with friends and enjoy themselves. Some people like to chill in the game room and just play games. And the game room starts feeling a little funky at the end of it. But no, people think it's only for this and this and this, but no, it covers a lot of things. So guaranteed there's something for you to do that you're going to be probably interested in.
It's worth visiting at least once to try some of the
Yeah.
other activities and
Totally.
maybe make some friends along the way.
Totally fucking
That's
agree.
10 things I personally think no one tells you about anime conventions. If you have any more, let me know in the comments below, and
Yep.
maybe I can do a follow-up to this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay nerdy.
If you want a kiss, I have to think about it. But I'll probably give you a kiss.
Honestly, convention reviews, again, an amazing person and a great videographer. They pretty much hits it on the head with all 10 of these things. And again, like, some of them I'm like, yeah, I know about others. I'm like, I haven't really considered that, actually. Oh shit. Like, I haven't even really considered that, actually. But no, a great video talking about 10 things they don't tell you about anime cons usually. Absolutely fucking great video. Again, if you want to check it out for yourself, it's gonna be down in the description box below. But yeah, fucking fantastic fucking video. But overall, yeah, it's a lot of great information in here. A lot of great information. And again, you know, you're going to an anime convention. I always say, legitimately, this is your time to shine, as far as you're going to be with other nerds, other geeks, other gamers, other anime fans. It's just us there. you know, no one's gonna really judge you on this cosplay or judge you on this thing because we're like or judge you like how excited you get with like a character. Like, no, we totally understand. We understand your passion. We are passionate as well. So I I always like live it up for the weekend. Honestly, make sure when you go to a convention, you are spending a lot of time, effort, and logistics to plan out and attend this convention. Have fun, enjoy it fully. You know, I've had tons of experiences at conventions, made a ton of friends there as well, and still some of them are I still go with too, and that's why I'm so annoyed with myself because one of my hard drives literally had all the convention footage of like the past decade but it's gone, all gone, and I'm so frustrated about that fact because that's all memories that happened that has just vanished away. But no, honestly, just live it up and enjoy yourself and have some fun and be safe as well. But no, great fucking video, absolutely great video there. Things that to my 2 cents to add in, no, pretty much hit it on the head here. Yeah, no, no, pretty much hit it on the head. Like nothing really else for me to say, to be honest. So if you guys enjoyed this video, post down in the comment box. So what is your favorite memory at a convention? Also, don't forget that like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well. I do stream weekly on YouTube and Twitch, and feel free to join my Discord. Everything's down in the description box below, including the original video link as well by convention reviews. Overall, thank you all so much for tuning in. Convention reviews, awesome fucking video. I love it. And this is Geeky Panda here. I'm out and stay geeky, my friends.